Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools on how to do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Coach Caren, and she's all about the money. Look, if you want to get your money mindset right, you need to tune in and find out what's going on in the world of money mindset. And that's when we connect with Coach Caren all the way from Toronto, Canada. So get your pins ready because I'm sure she's going to be dropping some wonderful information today.
Right.
You want to make sure you capture that. So without further ado, I introduce to some, present to others, Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada, your money mindset coach. How you doing this morning, Coach?
I'm good. I'm hot. I'm cold. Guys, if you see me opening and closing my jacket, this is what's going on.
Oh, okay. It's a little chilly in Canada.
It gets a little chilly, but it's that, yeah.
It's a little wet.
It's just getting younger thing, guys. It's getting younger things. Okay.
I see.
Monday I turned 59, so I'm just getting a little
Your
younger.
youth is renewed like the Eagles, girl. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Your youth is renewed. But yeah, it's a little wet here in California, so I empathize with you. So we got to crank up the heat a little bit here too.
Yeah. There's sunshine. I look out the window, but there's sunshine, so that's a good thing.
Oh, well, I'm not getting sunshine today. Not right now.
Right.
The sun is up, but it ain't shining.
It ain't shining. Well, we're shining with snow on the ground, so you look directly at the sunshine. It gets in the eyes and watery.
It's a glare.
But we're happy for the sunshine. We're not gonna complain about the sunshine.
Okay. I
Right.
feel so you welcome the sunshine. Okay. So what do you have for us today?
So today we are talking. Look at that, right? This is the third Wednesday of March, guys. This time is just rolling right on by.
Yes, it is.
We started this month talking about the 4 money types. Last week we talked a little bit about principles, and this week we'll talk about sales cycle a bit, right? Because if we're in business, we got to sell to make money. And if you're at a job, somebody in the business hierarchies are doing your sales. You only are paid because there's somebody driving the sales machine. If you're at a job, no matter what job you have, you are selling, so and you're doing your part as part of the selling package. I used to be a dishwasher when I first came to Canada, and I remember talking to the activity manager. Her and I used to be good friends, and one of the big selling point for the retirement home was being able to entice seniors that they're going to come and have a good time. They're not going to lose their independence. They'll get to keep their cars. They'll drive it and go wherever they need to go, or they can hang out with a group of, energetic and robust seniors. So she had to do a good set of selling in that area. And then when they come in, the cooks and the chefs had to do a good job in the food department to keep them and want them to stay, especially when they come in for tasting with their families and keeping everything clean and tidy. So the sales don't just stop at her or the president or anybody. Everybody does their part. And when you have a small business, you have all these hats to wear, right, in your sales cycle. But don't be afraid. It's possible. It's doable. We all get to do it. Whether we understand we're doing it right at the moment or we're learning, we get to do it right. So we're going to cover a couple of things. Selling without feeling sad and worried about the outcome. Like, even if you don't know it, it is really something that just hangs on to you. And sometimes that's why we don't sell, because we don't want to be disappointed, So we guard ourselves with these kind of emotions. Selling while being, when you're selling, when you're caring, is that you're solving a problem. Don't forget, every sale that you get, you solved somebody's problem. No matter how small, you solve somebody's problem. And sales, because we all need to buy in this economy to make it go around. In any economy, if we don't buy, nothing happens. Money stays stagnant in one place. If you've ever traveled, even if you haven't traveled, but if you ever traveled, you will see, especially if you go to South America or any of those countries, you'll see 10 people coming to you with the same thing selling you.
Mm,
How are they surviving if everybody's selling? But they sell every day and they cooperate with each other. You know, uh, they might look like they're selling the same thing, but everybody got their own pitch. They've got their own style. If you really pay attention, you'll notice it's not the same thing, even if it looks like the same thing.
mm,
I remember going home to bury my dad, and there were these bands selling with Guyana map on them, just to push your hand in. They had elastic inside, right? And my sister's like, "Well, what's the difference?" And she's like, "We can buy from anybody." I'm like, "No, if you pay attention, you'll see what's going on. I want to buy from the vendor who didn't only care about the buck, but wanted to talk to us, wanted to express how they're doing it.
mm.
Just this conversation rather than push it in my hand and move on. And some people probably didn't care about that, but I promise you, I after we bought purses and what have you, we step aside. And I told my sister, I said, watch and see where the sales are going. And
Mhm.
I kid you not, Terry, the lady that was conversing and talking to whether you're a foreigner or you came back home, she had so many people just mulling around in her little booth, waiting on her and patiently just looking at things. And this is what she keeps saying, "I'll get to you in a minute, eh, hon? I'll look after you. Look around, enjoy what you're seeing." Like she's making sure you're included, but she's giving attention to the person who she's dealing with at the moment. And I said to my
Exactly.
sister, "Look at the guy on the other side. He's just selling, you buy, you cash out, and you're gone. He's got, it feels like the identical thing, but her booth had way more people. We were all end up talking to each other, thinking about if it fit the risk. Somebody says, don't buy that kind because it doesn't stretch out as much. In the
Mm,
process, buy that one over there because I came here last year and I took it back to the States and la da da. People we didn't know. We end up chatting with them. We met them further in the day. And when we went to lunch and they were, "Hi, how you doing? Where you guys?"
yes.
You see what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And so that sale at the ladies' booth lead into all of this. And I say all of
Hmm.
this to say, you
Because she
need to.
has built a small community
Mhm,
around the around the sales process,
mhm.
not necessarily the item,
Not
but the
necessarily that.
sales process.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
So when you think about selling, think about the grocery store. Very few times I leave the grocery store without talking to at least two people
Mm.
about something or the other. Maybe they're asking me about a specific vegetable that they're not used to, or we are cashing out, me and the cash register girl talking. The other day I bought salmon for my mom and she doesn't like it with the skin on. So I asked the butcher, "Could you take the skin off?" And he says, "Yeah, no problem." And him and I talk a little bit about his day. Now,
Uh-huh.
you know, and a smile just changes everything. Just being kind because his specific, the butcher, his specific, he just fish, and there's not a lot of people around there chatting with him. you know. And at first, I could see like he wasn't sure if he wanted to say anything. But
Hmm.
once I said, "Morning, how you doing? How is your day?" It softened things up, man. He did the fish so quickly. A few other people came and by, and all of a sudden, the atmosphere changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying all this to say, you guys and I talk money, but that's how it is to change whatever is happening. If you're having the worst day ever and you have a lot of these days for your sales day, and by the way, you should have your sales day in place. I know you sell every day by showing up and being social and talking to people, but your sales day where you put on your sales cap and you're ready to make some sales. Excuse me. Get yourself up. I had an article I used to have on my wall. I found it the other day. It's old and tattered and brown. That's how I think it's over 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this young man that got hired for sales, strictly uncommissioned. And everybody thought he was crazy in the office because everybody hates selling and they had a base pay. He had a tiny base pay. But he would get in the office in the mornings. A lot of big ladies when they would say, "Hi, morning, how you doing?" He's all pumped and going, and they're like, "Shh." And he would get in there and he said he would hang up his suit because he took the train and the bus. He was not driving. He had jeans and a t-shirt and he didn't want his suit to crush up. So every day he walked with his jeans and this suit bag, and he would hang it up. And he would envision himself in the suit, talking to his prospect in the suit, meeting people and shaking hands in the suit, but he wouldn't take out the suit. And over time, everybody in the office would tease him, like, when are you going to wear the suit, right? And he would get in there and he wouldn't make sales. Day after day, he wouldn't make sales, waiting to wear the suit. So he said one day, a lady said to him, just wear the suit. And so he stepped in the man's room and he put on the suit and he came out. She goes, see, now you're ready to sell to somebody. All the time you weren't ready. You were getting ready. Now you're ready. Make the call. And he said, without a doubt, he made the call. And he made a couple more calls. And before the day was out, he had 3 potential clients to go with. So he talks about the suit and how inspiring it is. But it's not only good to have whatever it is. That's what I'm getting to. You have. Not only prepare yourself, but actually take action into what it is you want to see happen. Sometimes, and even myself, sometimes I'm getting ready way too long versus just doing the thing. Versus just getting it out there. Versus just tweaking later on when tweaking needs to happen. Okay? Guys, when I tell you stuff, this is for you, this is for me, this is for all of us. Stop getting ready and go do the thing. Okay. Go do the thing. If you got to jump, if you got to do jumping jacks, push-ups, stretches, I exercise, whatever you need to do it, and then go make the sale. And understand, in sales, no's are great. I know we don't like it. I don't like it either, let me tell you. But no's are your greatest driver. When somebody say no, you go back, you tweak, you see what's happening. When somebody say no, you ask them what's happening. When somebody says no, you need to go examine yourself. Is it no because it's no? Is it no because it's not right now? Or is it no that I don't understand what I would do with this thing? Find out which no it is. And then operate on that information for your business, for yourself. Stop seeing no as this downer. Stop seeing no that I can't make it, because we need to get to the yes, but we need to understand those no's. I literally met somebody who built $1 million business by just going to interruption of the industry, right? He just spent his time researching why people say no on certain industries, why it's hard to sell people. And he went in trying to answer those problems to get his yes. He was an accountant. He had no business in the industry he picked, but he wanted to showcase that, hey, I like to deal with money and I want to figure out how to make money differently, because I don't know that I want to be an accountant my whole life. So let me do this other business from the ground up by mainly researching what is missing in the marketplace. Don't be afraid of no's. So when you set out to sell, because selling is going to bring you your dollars. We're talking money here. Selling is putting money in your pocket. You cannot win without making sales. Your business is going to die. Right, Terry? Your business is going to die.
Correct. Correct.
Your business is going to die. You got to care for people, but you got to still make the sale.
I hear you.
You got to still make the sale. We've got this grocery store that got the owner died and new owners took over the franchise. And the new owners are a couple. And the lady is not in there as much. But I tell you, the husband, he's always around. He comes in. He doesn't need, he got managers, he got general, he comes in. Okay. And if you see him around and you tell him something needs fixing, not only will he get somebody, he himself will do it if nobody is not right there around to do it. He doesn't need to, but he would fix it. I remember my mom and I was in the grocery store, something I was telling her, and I said, Carlos really need to look into X, Y, and Z. He said, say what? He was right behind me. I didn't notice him. And, And I was telling him, and I said, when you bring out the plantains, you can't mix the green with the ripe, because if it just has to sit next to a green plantain. If it sat next to a ripe plantain, in less than 4 hours will start to turn.
Mm,
And the people who come in for green plantain do not want ripe plantain, because we do different things with the plantain.
gotcha.
And so you're going to want to tell them that they can't put it together. That's one. I said, two, it's coming out of cold storage. So the cold is keeping the plantain green. The
Mm,
minute it comes out of cold storage, the process has started to ripen.
mm, mm-hmm.
And so you don't even want to have it close by. You want to have it in a different, you can have it close by, but you want to have it in a different box and what have you. And now this is a man that is a millionaire, because you got to be to own the store. Let me just explain, okay? And he's paying attention. And I forgot all about him, but the next time I got in there, he said to me, did you notice how I changed the planting arrangements? He didn't find out who I was. Well, he just knew there was a customer in his store. And here's some advice that he didn't know, and he's going to follow it. You know when somebody new is there, because they will mix the planet. If he's around and you're paying attention, the old staff is very good at, doing. When the younger staff is in there, sometimes I still tell them. Because I know when you own a business, your sales is not going to be great if you're doing stuff that's not going to give you longevity, right? So that's the store. Let's talk about our businesses here online. Let's talk about the stuff that is not physical to touch. You got to pay attention where you're placing it and what you're doing. What goes where, what makes more sense. How do you listen when your customers say to you, this is not what I want? Don't be offended. Don't go in a hole. Don't hide. Investigate. Find out. See how you can help them do better.
Okay.
Feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes that's all what they need. And they mightn't purchase from you right now, but they might send you somebody who need what you have.
Yes.
And we always have to be thinking about that. We always got to be thinking about that. And when I say sell without thinking about outcome, it's not because you don't want your things to be sold out. But this is how my mom, she used to say, don't focus so much of the money on it. Just focus on the value you're bringing to the marketplace. Just focus on what it is you're doing. Because when you focus on that, the money will follow.
Okay.
People can't help but want to pay you. That's why people will play the guitar, sing on the roadside, and people will just drop money in their basket. People will dive into the purse looking for whatever is in there to give to them, because they brought joy to their faces, to their soul. They've given them something. That person is selling. I want you to know they are selling their talent. They're selling their gifting.
Wow.
They're sharing it with the world, and that's how they're selling. We are selling. When I hear customers complain about people who are not doing great things, I want to jump in and help them correct it, because I'm like, it is not hard. But at the moment, they can't see what they're doing, because right now it looks great. But when you lose enough people, your business disappears. Your business disappears once you lose enough people.
Okay. That's real.
Disappears. A girl was complaining on TikTok yesterday that she went to get her hair braided, and the braider were laughing really with another employee about her hair. And they didn't know she speak the language that they were speaking. She's French. They're speaking French, and she's fluent in French, but they didn't know. And so she heard everything that they said. And they lost $250 from a customer that is telling other people about them.
Wow.
Because they were giggling and literally condemning her hair texture.
That is terrible.
Terrible. You see, when we talk about we're not getting enough sales, sometimes we're doing a lot of things. That's why we're not getting enough sales. Same thing when I talk about money. We do a lot of things with money. That's why the money is not flowing to us anymore. It
Mm.
might have been at one time, but you step in and do things. In a sense, you might say, don't let them see, but I hope they saw it so they can self correct. Because she
Okay.
didn't say what the salon name was. She said she's not going to do that. That's not how my mom brought her up. So she's not going to tell us what salon it was. But, excuse me, if enough people figure out who they are,
Mm.
whether it's the owner or the employees, that business over time is going to lose traction.
Yes.
We got to be careful how we treat people.
See, there you go.
As you always say, home training,
Yes.
home
Get some
training.
good home training, good manners
Yeah,
goes a long way.
yeah. Just be kind. If it's not the thing you do, you tell people. If it's not the thing you could do, you tell people, you talk to them. When I used to braid hair, one of the biggest compliments I used to always get is the way I speak to people on the phone and the treatment they get when they come see me. I always
Hmm.
had a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, some hot chocolate, just something, and something to nibble on. That had people used to just referral was crazy. And just the conversation though, the first, so I'm selling cycle bits, so I'm going to get into that before I'm finished, but just the initial conversation, like on the phone, hi, good morning, how are you doing? How can I help you today? This is not what I take care of, but X, Y, and Z. Do you
Hmm.
know anybody who does it? I don't know, but I'm going to do some research and can I call you back? And they're usually surprised that I would call them back when it's something I don't do. And I start now getting people to refer them to. And when they come in, what happens next? You know, and you need to know this for yourself. Like, what do I do? Answering the phones or whatever. And people are like, I just don't want to talk to people. Well, get out of business because you need to talk to people. Texting sometimes is not enough for people, especially the new people. They listen to your tone. They
Hmm.
want to hear your tone. Even if people say, I don't want to hear your voice, they do. So they'll go investigate you. As how online is, they go online to hear you speak or talk or do something somewhere. And whether you're speaking in your tone or visible tone, they are checking you out. So this was physical, right? And then the treatment they get when they come here. And then when they go away, I call them if it was 2 weeks, out that they're going to be booking again, not so that they want to come back if they didn't, but to check in to see how the hair is doing, what's going on with them, how, if I can help in any way. Sometimes my clients forgot. Sometimes they're like, thanks for the reminder, book me in for Saturday or what have you. I'm busy at work. I'm doing 12-hour shifts. Can I come the following week? They're always happy to hear from me because of the way they remembered me treating them when they came in for the appointment.
Hmm.
If you're online and you're selling a bag, it might seem like, why would I keep calling somebody because I sold them a bag? Find out how they enjoy the bag. Ask them if they can send you a picture of the bag. Tell them about something that maybe from another vendor that they can use. Talk to them about whatever's happening today. Maybe, the sky is blue, but there's snow on the ground. Send them some information so that they are staying connected to you. And it doesn't have to be any other hard sell, but when you do have a new design, say maybe you're all bagged out, make it a joke, but you might want to gift this new design as a gift to somebody
Hmm.
because now you're having this conversation with them. But because you had this good rapport at the beginning, it's easier to talk to them. You don't have to worry about a hard email anymore because you're really just in conversation. I had told a friend of mine, say, I'm already now good at sales years ago. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, I'm not good at sales. She goes, that's because you don't try to sell. You're always talking to people about something or the other. So automatically, it's easy. And we know your product. I didn't even realize before I came online, that's how I built all my clients just from conversation, just
Hmm.
from really talking to people and finding out what their needs are. Again, go back to my braiding. When I started braiding, I just finished college and I was just doing it on the side. And I didn't know anybody to braid their hair. I just put an ad in the paper. And the first three people who talked to me said the only reason they came again is because the conversation in the phone. I let them know if you're not ready to get your hair braided, it's okay. Call me when you're ready. No problem. But I get them the information. Said you can wash your hair every 2 weeks. You need to condition it because they explain what type of hair they had. And I said to keep it moist, keep the scalp oiled, do some massages at least 3 times a week, especially the parts that the hair is not growing well, stimulated. And I was just giving information. They hadn't seen me yet.
Mhm.
I had this client that hadn't seen me and had sent me 6 people before she herself came because she was busy.
Mhm.
When she finally came, we were cracking up because I had not seen her, but people would say, let's say Jasmine sent me. She said, "You're great." I hadn't done her hair, but
Well,
she
there you
was
go.
in conversation.
Yes, and word of mouth is so important.
So important. I had
Mhm.
that client until she got sick. She had to ball her head because unfortunately she had the sea girl came around and visited her, so she had to take the hair off. But she was a hoot. And even after she had no hair to get anything done, we stayed in contact for a long time. I was so sad when I realized I couldn't find her and she had passed. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, but she became just a friend of the family. She was just, and that's what you want. That's what you want when you grow in your business and you set it out. You say, I'm going to do marketing, I'm going to do sales, I'm going to have and you should, if you don't, I'm going to have a customer service department, I'm going to do productivity, because all these things are what you do in your business, right? So sales, marketing, productivity, um, getting your own self together, um, customer service, because you want to be great to your customers, right? Have all these things set up, get them on your spreadsheet, get them on Google, and line everything up. And when people come to see you, treat them well, not as though, treat them well. If they're spending 5 cents to buy a product, or 25 cents, treat them well. Because when you treat them well, everybody remembers the treatment they get. Everybody remembers when you go to a store and somebody was kind to you. I don't care who you are. And everybody remembers that person you talked to on the phone. I still remember a guy from my phone company at the time. My young son had sent up my phone bill, and I was really mad. And he got on the phone and he says, "Can I tell you a joke?" I said to myself, "This is not a time for jokes." He goes, I can tell you're really mad. I can also tell the other account that is causing you this grief is not yours. I can tell. You got a young one in the house? Because let me tell you about the young people. And he had me cracking up. Good customer service. Then he dealt with what was happening. By the time we dealt with it, I was not as mad.
Isn't that a good thing? I think it's nice to have someone to put us at ease first, because
Right?
we really don't know these people, especially when you're doing a cold call.
Right?
It's like, what? You called me up to tell me a joke? I don't think so. I don't think so.
But he was so good about it. He said, "I'm going to do some things for you. I'm going to get it in order." He won't be able to. We're going to park his account. He was so generous in what he could do. He got his supervisor on. Together, we came up on a payment plan. We got it under control. Of course, I had to lock my young one out of the account because I guess he got a new phone and went crazy. Data Express. He think he was on Data Express. He touched
I've
every
been
button.
through that, especially when they first started getting cell phones. It was
Yes,
like
this was
a
new. This was like
$700 bill. What are you talking about?
So guys, we covered today the sales cycle, right? We talk about selling, addressing people, getting out of your own way, really, and knowing that people want to buy from you. People truly want to buy from you. They might not be ready at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They might not know of you.
Mm-hmm.
They might be planning to buy from you. And if you are looking after your business well, they'll get around to buying from you. But then you'll find the people who's ready to buy from you. You got to be ready to sell. You hear all the time, sell first and then get everything together. Nothing's wrong with that idea, but if you know that you're a person who can't handle that, don't do it. I'm not that. I can't do it. That's not me. I
Mm-hmm.
could, but I will want to. I like order. I like things in place. So
Yes.
for me, I'm a coach. So I have a welcome series that I send people. There's questionnaires before you come on board. And I lay out all the things we're going to be talking about, covering the areas we're covering. To still give you the freedom to come in, tell me what you need, and we work through it. But there has to be some sort of a structure so that you know that you're going away with something in your hand that's valuable. The only way coaching doesn't work is if you don't do the work. Sometimes when we think about a money coach or a mindset coach, because it's not as visible, tangible, I'm throwing the ball in the hoop kind of thing, sometimes we think there's no work to be done. But if you come to a money or mindset coach, she's going to help you to detangle that mind that you tied up in knots. And so she's going to give you exercises to do myself. And if it's money, we're going to talk about blockage. We're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about the things that has affected you for a long time that is causing this problem. And we're going to talk about things to do so that you can get past it. But you're going to have to go do the things that I give you to do, that any
Yeah.
other coach give you to do. No coach, running coach, writing coach, any of those coaches don't help you unless you do the work. If your coach say that you have to run X amount of times per week, you're going to have to put in the work because he or she knows what can happen by putting in a little bit of work. I
Yeah.
was in dance, and when my coach said I got to tumble 3 times a day, I hated it because I wasn't a good tumbler. Like I couldn't flick myself over for whatever reason. There was this blockage, and he was saying to me, "You're stopping yourself." I couldn't see it. So when I got into dance, when everybody was practicing and stretching, I had to tumble a lot of time before I can get to stretch. And it
Yeah.
was this blockage that Terry, I can't explain what it was, but I would start, but halfway I couldn't get my propel myself over. And he would come and help me. And he wouldn't give up on me until I could do it. And
Okay.
so that's what happens. If it's money and we're talking money, we have to forge through whatever is stopping you from being successfully making the money you want to make. Whatever you're telling yourself, whatever you're afraid of, we have to work through it. And yes, at first it feels like the wall of whatever, China, that you have to get over. But it's not true. It's just what you've told yourself for so long that you think you can do it. Okay?
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a great plan, Coach, to reassess what's going on with our sales, what's
Mhm.
going on with us, and how can we better serve our customers.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think we really needed this conversation
Mhm.
around sales.
Yeah.
And I heard you say something that was very interesting, that one of the things that holds people back from sales is fear of rejection, and they don't like that feeling. So
Mhm.
they in turn don't approach anyone because they don't want to feel that feeling. So getting past that and some of the other blockers will be very helpful. Thank you so
Yes.
much. You
You're
have no idea how important this conversation was to many of us who are in business. So we want to thank everybody for subscribing. For those of you watching live and on the replay, we say thank you for your time. We want to remind you that if you're looking for Coach Caren, you can find her at Profits in Daily with Coach Caren. She's on Instagram. She's on Facebook. You can book an appointment with her, and we highly recommend her.
Thank
She's an accomplished entrepreneur, and she covers many, what would you call them, categories, i.e., daycare, janitorial services. She's been in fashion. She's been in manufacturing. Guys, don't play, Coach Karen. So you want to contact her and make sure that you connect and find out how to run a more profitable business that's fun to run.
Yes.
In addition to that, if you would like help with your marketing or with um, any kind of social media issues, you want to join BizChicks. You want to text Biz to 33777, become a part of our community. We'd love to
Mhm.
help you with anything that you are finding challenging in the field of social media. BizChicks.net is also a place where you can register to be a part of our community. We'd love to help you run a profitable business
Yeah.
that's fun to run and help you take the hassle out of your hustle. So we want to thank you again for tuning in. And we will see you tomorrow. We'll be talking Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. And we're going to talk with Linus Linus Woods Mullins about nutrition.
Nice.
So, yeah, so you want to tune in tomorrow. And then on Friday, we'll be talking tech with the Tech Divas. So, with
Yes.
that, we want to thank you. Thank you again, Coach, for all
Welcome.
that you do. Coach Caren Fern from Profits in Daily. See you tomorrow, everyone. Bye bye.